Hey, and welcome to the highlights of episode number 157 with Jim Kwik. Some of my favorite parts of this episode were when he shares the 10 ways to unlock your brain and the 10 superfood brain foods that we can add into our diet. And I also loved when he shared how we can all learn how to speed read, which is a skill that I have wanted to learn for so long, and now I have the tools. But there is so much more wisdom, knowledge, and inspiration that you get in the full episode. So, to listen to the full podcast and get all the info in the show notes, head on over to melissaambrosini.com/157 right now. Welcome to the show, Jim. I'm so excited for today's conversation. So, I absolutely love your story. And I was telling you before we jumped on that I first discovered you through Transcendence, that documentary series, which is just amazing. But can you share your story with us and how you went from the boy with the broken brain to where you are today doing the work that you now do?
I grew up with a severe brain injury. At the age of 5, I had a head trauma, multiple brain injuries as a kid, and I had learning disabilities, and I was put in special classes, and I couldn't focus. I had a hard time memorizing things. Teachers would have to repeat themselves 4, 5, 6 times, and then I would pretend to understand, but I didn't really understand. I remember at the age of 9, one of my teachers pointed to me and said, "That's the boy with the broken brain." And that really stuck with me. Parents have to be very careful with their external words because an adult's external words become a child's internal words. And that became my internal talk. Every time I did badly in school or wasn't picked for a team in gym class, I would always say to myself, "Oh, it's because I have the broken brain." And that became my limitation was myself. And I struggled all through school. And then one day I just hit a wall. I was a freshman in college, 18 years old, and I couldn't keep up with my studies. I was ready to quit and ended up in the hospital because I just couldn't keep up. I was not eating or sleeping. I was studying all night, living in the library. And, that's when I woke up. I just thought there has to be a better way. And it made me study brain science, made me study adult learning theory, made me study what makes somebody intelligent, speed reading, ancient mnemonic memory devices people used back in ancient Greece. And I got really fascinated with this thing. Like I wanted to solve this riddle of how my brain worked so I could work my brain better. And so I learned all these things and quickly my grades improved and for the very first time, but also my life improved after that. And I couldn't help but help other people. And the reason why you and I are having this conversation today is because one of those people that I first helped, she was a freshman in college. She read 30 books in 30 days. Can you imagine that, Melissa? Like going online, picking 30 books, whether it's on leadership or team building or health and wellness, anything that was important to you and reading 30 books in 30 days. I found out that her motivation was, I know how she did it because I taught her, but the reason she did it was because her mother was dying of terminal cancer and was only given 2 months to live, 60 days. And the books she was reading were books on health and wellness, spirituality, alternative medicine, energy, because she was determined to save her mother's life, which she ended up doing so.
Wow. Okay. So you say that no matter what the circumstances, we can actually rebuild our brain. So, how do we do that?
Whoever's listening to this right now, regardless of your age, your background, your career, your level of education, your financial situation, your gender, your personal history, your IQ, none of that matters. What matters is what you do each day. And we found that 1/3 of your brain's potential is predetermined by genetics and biology. That's what the latest research is saying, 1/3. But that means 2/3 is in your control, which is your lifestyle, which are your strategies, which are your habits, which is everything from, the food you eat to the thoughts that you think to the exercises that you do. So what we do is we put together a plan for everybody in terms of the best foods to eat. So there are 10 things actually, Melissa, that will move the needle to make you faster and smarter. So we could go through those 10 things right now if you like.
Yes, let's do it. Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to share with you 10 ways to unlock what I call your quick brain, a brain that is faster, smarter, and just overall better. It's the best version of your mind. The first thing that's going to help you to unlock your quick brain is a good diet, right? Now, this is obvious, but I'll say it, right? What you eat matters, especially for your gray matter, especially for your brain matter, if you will. Good brain diet. Killing ants is number 2. In terms of negative thoughts, automatic negative thoughts, ants on a scale of 0 to 10, how positive are they? Number 3 is exercise. How much are you moving each day on a scale of 0 to 10? Number 4 are brain nutrients, filling in for whatever food you're not getting. Number 5 is a positive peer group, because people could do all that and be around energy vampires. That'll affect your brain, right? Number 6 is a clean environment. You could be doing all of this and being in a very messy environment that is, that's affecting the quality of the oxygen or something like that. Number 7, you can do all this, but not be getting good night's sleep, and your brain's not going to show up how it needs to show up. After sleep, you have brain protection, wear a helmet. Number 9 is new learnings. And finally, number 10 is stress management. And again, it's common sense, but common sense is not always common practice. So there are 10 superfoods. These are your genius foods that are neuroprotective, that are good for your focus and your memory. So one of those is avocados. So avocados are really good for your brain. And what I'd like you to do, actually, when everyone's listening to this, we could do a fun exercise. I'm going to teach you how to memorize these 10 foods. I don't know, Melissa, have you ever gone to the store just to pick up one thing and you come back with like a whole bag or 2 bags of things, except for that one thing you went there to pick up?
Yeah.
We're all guilty of that. And so we're going to do a fun game is we're going to take these things and put it on your body. So I'm going to give you 10 foods. And what you're going to do is you're going to put them on your body. And you're just going to imagine you're placing these foods on your body. So next time you're at the store, you could just imagine your body and just all the foods just appear. So on the top of your head, I want you to imagine avocados. Avocados all over the top of your head. So imagine you're making some guacamole on the top of your head. Avocados are very good for your brain. The second place on your body is your nose. So I want everyone to touch their nose right now. Nose. And coming out of your nose is the second brain food, which are blueberries. They're very good for your brain. Blueberries. I want you to smell what it smells like, feel what that would feel like. Just imagine that, blueberries. And then the third place is your mouth. So the first place is the top of your head. The second place is your nose. Going down your face, the third place is your mouth. And I want you to imagine you have a big piece of broccoli in your mouth. You're chewing a big piece of broccoli, or maybe you have a big piece of broccoli between your teeth. Just imagine what that would feel like. And that's really good for your brain. Broccoli is very good for your brain. The fourth place are your ears. So I want you just to touch your ears right now. That's the fourth place. And I want you to imagine the fourth food that's good for your brain is olive oil. Olive oil, very neuroprotective. I don't know, maybe you're cleaning your ears with olive oil. Not that you would ever do that, but it makes it memorable. Number 5 is going to be your larynx, which is your throat. Your throat. So that's number 5. And the fifth food that's been proven to be good for your brain are eggs. And so I want you to imagine instead of an Adam's apple, maybe you have an egg that's there. Now, again, if you don't have eggs in your diet, there's certain things that that's not something you have to add to your diet. The sixth place are your shoulders. So I want everyone to touch your shoulders. And I want you to imagine, look at your shoulders, and you're going to see green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables. So your collard greens, you have your spinach, you have your kale. I want you to just look at your shoulders and imagine you have shoulder pads made out of kale. Something fun. The seventh place is your collarbone. Your collarbone. So everyone touch your collarbone. And the seventh food that's been shown to help with your cognitive ability is salmon and sardines. Now, again, some people have restrictions on their diet, and that's absolutely great. So you should eat what's good for you because everyone is bio individual. But if that's something that allows you to be able to do it, just imagine a necklace made out of wild salmon. a necklace made out of wild salmon. The 8th place are your fingers. I want everyone to wiggle your fingers. And the 8th superfood, the genius food that's good for your brain, is turmeric. Turmeric. Now, some people, you know what turmeric is, right? It's that golden powder, if you will. It's a spice, and it gets everywhere. I want you to imagine your fingers are covered in turmeric, but the turmeric is very anti-inflammatory, and it's very good for lowering inflammation in your body, which includes your brain. So I would say number 8 is imagine turmeric all over your fingers. And then finally, 9 and 10, the 9th place is your belly button. Your belly button. So I want you to go down your body, your belly button, touch your belly button. And the 9th food for your brain are walnuts. Walnuts are good for your brain. So are almonds, walnuts. And I want you to just imagine walnuts coming out of your belly button. And finally, the 10th place on your body going down is your seat, your yoga seat. You're sitting, your rear end. And what I want you to remember is the 10th food for your super brain, if you will, is dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. And then people could picture whatever you're picturing. I'm not going to give you any suggestions, but dark chocolate on your seat. Now, these are the 10 superfoods for your brain. And I want you to just now imagine you're in the store. What are the 10 foods? Can we go through it right now?
Yes.
Number 1 on the top of your head is what?
Avocados.
Good. Number 2 out of your nose is what?
Blueberries.
Great. And everybody who's listening to this could do this with us. Number 3 out of your mouth and your teeth, you have?
Broccoli.
Great. Number 4 out of your ears, you're cleaning it with?
Olive oil.
Number 5 on your throat, you have?
Eggs.
Number 6 on your shoulders, you're balancing?
Leafy green vegetables.
Right, all the green leafy vegetables, spinach and kale and everything. On 7, your collar, you have a necklace made out of?
Salmon and sardines.
Number 8 on your fingers is covered in?
Turmeric.
Yeah, all the powder on your fingers, turmeric. Number 9 out of your belly button, you have what?
Walnuts.
Finally, and number 10 on your seat, you remember?
Of course, dark chocolate.
Of course, and it's raw and it's organic and it doesn't have added sugars, but dark chocolate it's good for your mood, and what's good for your mood is generally good for your mind. So these are little brain hacks that we teach, in our podcast and our show to show people really what they're capable of. So the first thing, again, to unlock your quick brain is good brain diet. So those are the 10 superfoods. The second thing that everyone want to remember is what's good for your brain. The second key, besides food, is killing ants. Killing ants is actually clinically proven to help you to boost your brain power. What I mean by that, before anyone gets upset about me saying that, ANTS stands for automatic negative thoughts. When we say to ourselves, oh, I'm so forgetful, or I'm not smart enough, or whatever those negative thoughts are, the problem with it is this: your brain is like a supercomputer, and your self-talk is a program it will run. So if you tell yourself you're not good at remembering names, for instance, you will not remember the name of the next person you meet because you program your supercomputer not to.
How can we learn to speed read?
So there are 5 things that get in the way of your speed or comprehension, or both. Number 1 is lack of education. So the first thing to be able to build is just get proper training. There's no such thing as a good or bad reader. There's just good reading habits and bad reading habits. And most of us learn poor reading habits when we're children. So that's the first obstacle. The second obstacle to effective reading, both speed and comprehension, is lack of focus. Now, here's the reason why we get distracted while we read, is because when you read, everyone listening to this, you're reading one word at a time. So to put it another way, the reason why people lack focus while they're reading is because they're reading too slow. So the biggest myth out there when it comes to reading is that if I ask you to read faster, you would say your comprehension would go down. But in actuality, is the faster you read, the better your comprehension, because the better your focus. Because the speed gives you the focus, and the focus gives you the comprehension and understanding. So that's the second obstacle, is lack of focus. And then finally, the third obstacle that you have to fix in order to be a better reader is something called sub-vocalization. When you're reading something to yourself, you hear that inner voice inside your head reading along with you. You hear that voice that's reading. The reason why it's a challenge is if you have to say all the words out loud or inside your head in order to understand what you're reading, your reading speed is limited to your talking speed, not your thinking speed. All right, so sub-vocalization gets in the way of us reading better. And then finally, the last obstacle to effective reading, and I'll give you a reading hack, but it helps to know what the obstacles are, is regression. Regression. This is the act of back skipping. Have you ever found yourself going back and rereading words? Unconsciously, sometimes you read the whole line by accident again. And so that time is wasted time. And so you don't want to be able to do that. Now, one of the ways to overcome these obstacles, one of the reading hacks or tips I could offer everyone right now is to use a visual pacer while you read. And so using your finger while you read, or a pen or a highlighter or something, will boost your reading speed 25, 50%. So I challenge everybody listening to this to use their finger or a pen, a highlighter, or mouse on a computer as a visual pacer. And you'll find you'll have not only greater speed, 25, 50%, but you'll also have greater focus.
Do you have a particular morning routine? And if so, can you share it with us?
Absolutely. And so I believe, like many people, that in order to win the day, you have to win the first hour of the day. And first you create your habits, and then your habits create you. A few things I do. First thing in the morning, when I wake up, I remember my dreams. Second thing that I do is make my bed. And the reason why it's good for your brain is there's a momentum to success. And how you do anything is how you do everything. And the science of success says that you could build on success. And so if you could make your bed in a couple minutes and you do it with excellence, you're creating momentum. And the other benefit is when you come home at night and you go back to bed, you come full circle to success. Another thing I do every single morning is I brush my teeth with the opposite hand. And I feel like when you brush your teeth with the opposite hand, what it's training you to do first thing in the morning is to be present, because in order to do it correctly, you can't be in the future or in the past, because it challenged the other side of your brain, because one part of your brain controls the opposite side of your body, but it's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. Another thing I do every morning is a tall glass of water, because people don't realize that your brain is just like your body, because your brain is part of your body. 70+% is made out of water. And when you sleep, you lose a lot of water through respiration and perspiration. So you want to hydrate. The next thing I do is I do some exercise, 3 minutes. And so I'm not saying you have to do your full workout at 7 a.m., but if you just for 3 minutes got your heart rate going, is good to get the blood flow going. Another thing I do is I take a cold shower. Cold helps to reset your nervous system. It helps to lower inflammation, which is very important because inflammation leads to a lot of challenges, physical challenges and mental, obviously, as well, because everything is connected in systems. And the other reason why I take a cold shower is because you want to train yourself to do hard things. What you practice in private, you're rewarded for in public. And the work you do when no one's looking is what shows up. And I think by taking a cold shower and training yourself to deal with difficult situations, when you need to be in a situation where you need to perform, anything is how you do everything. And to the degree you could build grit, meaning getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. From there, I make a brainpower smoothie, which is a lot of the ingredients that we went through. I bet most people remember most of those 10 ingredients. But, I make a brainpower smoothie and then I journal. I did a whole episode on proper note taking because most people don't take notes the right way or journal the right way. And so I have a whole process, but I think it's very important. And I think journaling is something that if you're living your life, putting your thoughts on the paper, whether you're a writer and you publish them or not, is something extremely valuable. For me, I wake up, I write down fresh 3 things I want to accomplish today professionally, 3 things I want to do for myself personally, just 6 things. And then I don't touch my phone until I get one of those things done. The most successful people in the world, they certainly have a to-do list, but they also have a not to-do list. And I would say on the top of your not to-do list is checking your phone the first hour of the day. right? But another habit of highly effective people is put first things first, meaning I believe that the most important thing is to keep the most important thing the most important thing. And so for me, when I wake up, I work backwards. And so I know my life's purpose. I know what's most important to me: love, growth, contribution, adventure. And I think about, like, when I come home tonight and people ask me, my loved ones ask me, how was your day? I want to say, like, it was awesome. I crushed it today. Today was amazing. I don't leave it to like luck. I hope today's going to be great because I know it has to happen. So then I work backwards from there. Now, on my personal goals, it could be something big, like a personal accomplishment, or it could be something that's very minute, but it's important, like something for self-care. Because people think that they have to do the big things all the time, but it's little things done consistently become big things.